Well, they've finally arrived, the 2 parcels I've been waiting for, which seems to take forever. I've had to chase them up multiple times, but they are here now. We've got lots to do, and this is going to be a long video. Let's take a look at what we've got first. So we've got a bag of corrugated sheets, scrap pieces obviously, and then we've got a very large bag of scrap. I'm going to be honest, I'm not overly happy with this, and I'll tell you why when we open it. So, as mentioned, lots to do. Starting off with the good old faithful Muddy Ground by AK Interactive. Concentrating on this area to start with. I suspect this video is going to be longer than my usual videos, and we're not really being careful to where this goes. We want it quite thick. The only issue I can see with this, obviously we've got the ballast down, we've got the DAS clay down, and now we're adding this texture paste. It's going to make this board quite heavy, but needs must, right? I may end up needing another tub of this at some point. Like I say, not really been careful where we go. Filling in all the gaps, because this will probably be one of possibly 2 layers. Right, so the plan now that that's in there, is to get these scrap pieces that we've got, start sprinkling them out about. Start with the other bag first, this one. So I said that I wasn't overly happy with this, and that's probably not the right terminology that I should be using. What I mean by that is it's not what I was expecting, if that makes any sense. Because all this is, actually, is, if you haven't guessed already, is just wood shavings. But it looks the part, which is the main bit. Should probably apply this with a teaspoon. Sorry if my head keeps getting in the way, which I have noticed on a few videos, that when I do lean into stuff I seem to forget that there's a camera there. I've just got a bit on the back seam, that should wipe off. Back with a teaspoon. Like I say, this is just wood shavings, which it wasn't what I was expecting. It didn't say that in the description, but to be fair, it didn't actually say what it was at all, so I can't really argue with that. Some good wood scenics, if you haven't guessed. And to be fair, all their other products are absolutely spot on as well, so I'm not complaining, I'm just moaning. Just quickly as well, while I get this done, the last 3 videos you've seen have all been pre-recorded in advance, and that's just because I've had other stuff going on, family related issue, so my mind was elsewhere, shall we just say. think there's two types you can get from Goodwood Scenics of this. There's I think it's a medium grade and a large grade. The one we're using today is the large grade. And it's the largest bag as well. Now, if you remember in a previous video, if you watched it, I weathered a scrap wagon. I'm going to use this and a few of the aluminium sheets as well to put a load in one of them, see how that looks. If I like it, I'll do it in both. As mentioned before, this is an acrylic product, so it does take a decent amount of time to dry. Once I've done this and sort of finished today's video, I'll then be leaving this for at least overnight. So far so good, I think. I think that's looking exactly how I wanted it to. We're now going to move on to the aluminium sheeting. Make sure the camera's in focus. Now, a little bit sparingly with these, because as you can see, the bag is quite small. Just scattered a few pieces around here and there. What I think I'll do is I'll let the muddy paste dry, and then I'll come over the top where the aluminium sheeting is, just with a bit of water damp PVA, just to make sure it's set properly. I think something along the lines of that. Possibly enough to start with. I think that looks quite good looking on the camera as well. It looks decent on there. So now, do I apply PVA now? Let's go to the halfway point of the board and get that section done there. For this bit, let's apply the aluminium sheets first, see which method I prefer to do once everything is dry. Okay, so I can already tell you now, I prefer how this bit looks to this bit. Applying the aluminium sheets before, and then coming in with the other scrap, whereas this bit here, we applied it on top. I've changed my mind. I've glued it now. Quicker I glue it, quicker it dries basically. So it is going to take a day, maybe 2 days though, because it's got the acrylic ground texture on there and it's doused in PVA. So yeah, we're going to get on to some painting. So I've been thinking for the last 10-15 minutes whether I want to airbrush this as clay or whether I just want to apply the paint with a brush. I think my decision has been made and we're going to airbrush it. My reasoning for that is, as we're painting this with the airbrush, we can actually get the ballast weathered down as well. So this is going to sort of match, if you like, to the ballast, and it's all going to look as sort of not one piece, but it's not going to stand out like a sore thumb compared to the ballast if I do it at 2 separate times. Whilst I just get some paint in the airbrush, the part we've just done with the scrap pieces, this section and down, it's not all going to be flat. I'm going to come back in afterwards and add more, create some sort of mounds, some bumps and hills, and you get the idea. Right, ballast weathering. What am I going for? Brown with a bit of rust. Does that make sense? Get on with it. So that brown is just to give us a base colour and a bit of coverage really. And now we're going to apply a nice rust coat and we're going to go from there, see what else we need to add. We'll need to add some blacks in there as well, but let's get this one down, get started. Well, that's the rust colour applied to ballast. Now we need to get it on the DAS clay. It all looks a bit crazy at the minute. Let me just turn this light off. I'm sure you can see the effect we're going for. Let's carry on. So I'm just hand holding the camera now because that angle doesn't really show the ballast off very well, and neither does this, to be honest. It doesn't look weathered, but I assure you it is. I'm happy with the ballast. I think the DAS clay needs a little bit more work. We need to add some blacks in there, but I've run out of black, so I'm going to have to go get some. I know what you're all thinking. If you've never done this before, weathered track, whether it be with an airbrush, a brush or a rattle can, what about the rail tops? Honestly, do not worry about them because it comes off when it's wet very easily. It comes off when the paint's dry very, very easily. So do not worry about it. I'm using a track rubber, which I understand a lot of people don't like them. For jobs like this, I do. It's quick, it's easy, it's effective. It's just protect the switch rails with a bit of masking tape. Otherwise, it does take a bit of time to clean them. Well, the proof is in the pudding. Rail tops, honestly, don't worry about them. It comes clean so easily. I've been to the shop, longest journey of my life. Roadworks literally everywhere. I had to get the Tamiya XF1, which is, the F stands for flat, so in other words it's a matte black. I didn't have my usual Vallejo stuff. Right, low air pressure this time because we're not applying it anywhere near as thick. So in handheld camera, trying to show the ballast that is weathered. As you can see there, it has been weathered, but if I move the camera, and let's just put it down this side, it looks like I haven't even touched the ballast, but I assure you, it does not look like that in person, what you're seeing on camera. So I'm happy with that. That Tamiya paint, it sprays really, really well. I have used it before, but it's a nightmare to clean. It just don't clean as well as the Vallejo. So I am actually considering swapping over to Tamiya paints. Well, I just got interrupted by my young one, Harry. He just brought me a pizza. Would you like to see the pizza? You're going to be amazed at this. Ta-da! That's my pizza, apparently. Anyway, right, what's next? I'm gonna bring you guys back in the morning to see how far this is dried. I don't think it's going to be fully dry. I think it's going to take probably 2 days to dry. After that, I'm going to get this bit done, continue with that bit. Just the same process as this, so I probably won't film it. It's just a repeat of what I've done there. And speaking of that, I did that in real time, I guess it is called, instead of time-lapsing it like I normally do. So this video is definitely a lot longer. If you prefer the longer format videos, drop it in the comments and I'll do them in the future. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I'll see you next Wednesday.